speech by the Prime Minister, not to exceed 3 minutes.
My name is Dolores Martin. I represent the Howard School. My position is Prime Minister. This is a debate round about safety. We believe that the Neighborhood Watch program is needed to achieve neighborhood safety. Therefore, we agree with today's resolution, which is Neighborhood Watch is needed to achieve neighborhood safety. We will focus on the 3 following points to make our case. Neighborhood Watch programs reduces the pay of a task force, community leaders, and improves the community. Our first point is Neighborhood Watch programs reduces the pay of a task force. In Lakewood, Colorado, documented that 77% of drop-in burglaries after implementing Neighborhood Watch. Cypress, California, Neighborhood Watch cut burglaries by 52% and thefts by 45%. A group of real estate agents organized the program which saved police an estimated $79,000. Our second point is community leaders. Neighborhood Watch looks forward to leaders who are reliable, gets along well with people, have good communication and negotiating skills, and willing to listen to others' opinions. Our third point is improves the community and more families. With Neighborhood Watch programs, it prevents crimes, less burglaries, and creates peace. There's no trouble in the community. And more families. The more peace it is, the more families. They trust each other, and they will help each other's back.
Next, we'll have a speech by the Leader of Opposition, not to exceed 4 minutes.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Montez Bill. I represent the Howard School. My position is Leader of Opposition. This debate round is about safety. We believe that more police is needed to achieve safety. Therefore, we disagree with today's resolutions that Neighborhood Watch is needed. All right. We will focus on the three following points to make our case. Neighborhood Watch is not necessarily properly trained. They use power that they don't have, and they don't properly assess the situations. I'm going to start with the final point and then make my way up. Now, what I mean by they don't properly assess the situation, what is it? It doesn't matter. Certain situations that they have, be it violence, be it domestic abuse or domestic violence of any kind, weapons, anything, they don't know how to handle the situations because sometimes what they'll do is that they'll try to handle it themselves instead of calling the police first, which is what they are supposed to do according to the National Neighborhood Watch Association. So, point number 2, they use power that they don't have. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. George Zimmerman, with the Trayvon Martin, what he did was he called the police first, but they told him to leave the situation alone because they were on their way. Did he leave it alone? No. He handled it. He did what he wasn't supposed to do and used the power of being Neighborhood Watch captain. He took it to a whole nother level. Not properly trained. Okay, you may have a permit like he did to have a gun and everything, but at the same time, if nobody is bothering you or if they're not doing anything wrong, by shooting them and killing them, shooting them down in cold blood, that's something that is what you do when you're not properly trained because you don't have the necessary skills to do what it is that you're supposed to do. And even if you do, when you don't use them, that brings me back to my second point, they use power that they don't have. That is just absolutely ridiculous. I would just like to point out that neighborhood watch groups were designed to be the eyes and ears of the police. Why have neighborhood watch when all they're going to do is call the police? Cut out the middleman. Neighborhood watch is the middleman. You have the first thing is you have the crime. Then you have neighborhood watch. Then you have the police. Why do you need neighborhood watch when the people who are committing the crime or the people who are the victim of the crime are going to call the police anyways? That makes absolutely no sense to have a middleman who's just going to get in the way and try to do something when they're not supposed to do it. That's the exact case with George Zimmerman. That's the exact case. I myself have lived in a couple of neighborhoods with neighborhood watch, right? All they did was just sit around. They have neighborhood watch instituted, but they just sit around and not do what, they don't call the police, they just sit there and watch. Old people, you can for shame all you want, but that's my experience, okay? Thank you very much. So here. Also, what they're going to do is they're just going to sit there and, like I said, just watch, not doing what they're supposed to do. So all they're going to do is just be the middleman. Like I said, they're not going to assess the situation properly at all. And you need to assess the situation. Is that 1 minute? Oh, 1 minute. Oh, okay. As I said, first thing, you need not to engage. You need to call the police. George Zimmerman called the police, but he engaged first. That's why he called the police, because he thought that he was committing a crime. No, Trayvon Martin was not committing a crime. He was committing a desire to walk across the street. What? With Skittles in his pocket, not a gun. Also, here is a map. Okay, you can't see it, but I'm just going to say here is a map of all the crimes that happened. There are 16 dots in each of these neighborhoods with Neighborhood Watch. And you tell me that a Neighborhood Watch is needed? No, because the crimes are still going to happen anyways. Point blank and the period.
Next, we're going to have a speech by the member of government, not to exceed 4 minutes.
What is this minute? Oh, proposing completed address.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Peace. I represent the Howard School. My position is the member of government, and this debate round is about safety. We believe that the neighborhood watch is needed to achieve neighborhood safety. Therefore, we agree with today's resolution, which is neighborhood watch is needed to achieve neighborhood safety. My partner has mentioned how we will focus on the 3 points: neighborhood watch programs, reduce the pay of task force, community leaders, and improves the community. Neighborhood watch reduces the pay of the workforce of the law enforcement force by cutting down the amount of money that they have to use on misdemeanors. It's not cheap to drive around town all week and prevent petty crimes from happening. When you place in neighborhood watch in the neighborhood, you can have leaders that you trust to speak to members of the community and handle certain situations with the help of law enforcement. You have certain community leaders. Not everybody is comfortable speaking with the law. Not everybody trusts the justice system. So when you add community leaders that everybody trusts, you get more information, and you reduce hostility between cops and the community. Not everybody uses certain force that they don't have. Some people just really want to prevent crime. George Zimmerman, he was a case where somebody was hurt, but he's not all of Neighborhood Watch. There's more to Neighborhood Watch than just George Zimmerman. He was just a bad person in general, not somebody who was part of Neighborhood Watch. It also helps to improve the community because you get more people just involved with the community and more friendly. They're just more relaxation. 25,000 neighborhood watch groups are registered with the Sheriff's Association, which started the neighborhood watch programs in 1972. Many other groups are registered with local law enforcement, meaning that we have a connection with law enforcement where we can push law enforcement and force it without being aggressive. And we have the authority to help out law, which just makes stuff move smoother. And that's what we're trying to do, get safety and smoother living for our community. And we do this by placing neighborhood watch programs into communities and improving that. I lived in a neighborhood where once there was neighborhood watch community, and my friends decided that they wanted to do something that was inappropriate and use spray cans to tag the neighborhood. As we were walking though, we seen a group of adults, and they were with neighborhood watch programs, and it prevented us, and we all went on to do something else, and neighborhood watch prevented us from being bad kids. Sometimes it's just bad kids, not kids that need to go to jail necessarily, just kids that, we're on the bad path. So I feel like these points have proven that neighborhood watch programs will improve a neighborhood. Thank you.
Next, we'll have a speech by the member of opposition not to exceed 4 minutes.
Hello, my name is Dunham. I represent the Howard School. My position is member of opposition. No, member of government. Member of opposition. Member of opposition, excuse me. This is a debate round about neighborhood, keep community safer. We believe that more police are needed to achieve a safer community. Therefore, we disagree with today's resolutions, which is neighborhood watch needs to keep the community safer. I'd just like to reiterate the 3 points, which is the neighborhood watch are not properly trained. They sometimes use power that they do not have, and they don't always assess the situation correctly. A community watch is supposed to be the eyes and the ears, right? So if you're just the eyes and the ears, that means that someone has to be the hands, and the hands just so happen to be the police department. The neighborhood watch are supposed to assess the situation. So you see me walking down the street with my hand in my pocket, you might think I have a gun or something and take action without calling the police and start calling my name. And that's just, you never know what might happen. So you approaching me, you don't know who I am. They say that the neighborhood watch is supposed to bring the community together. I could be new to the community and be that person who's supposed to be, oh, I want to keep the community safe, and actually be the person doing wrong in the community. The police department may receive calls for non-suspicious activity. So say that they are doing what they're supposed to do by using their training and all that, the training that they don't always use. They may be calling, oh, I just saw somebody walking down the street and I've never seen them before. The police come all the way out here and they're like, this person has been here so and so amount of years, you probably never seen them before. They're supposed to be used to prevent crime. So back to the map, you have neighborhood watches, but you also have crime going on. So with or without those neighborhood watches, there's going to be crime no matter where you go. I've lived in neighborhoods where we're supposed to have a neighborhood watch, but they're not doing anything. There's still crimes going on around me, and no action is being done to keep them from happening. Back to George Zimmerman, he was in fact on neighborhood watch. He had a permit for a gun. He was told by someone who's a part of the National Association for Sheriffs that you're not supposed to engage in whatever the situation is. You're supposed to sit back. So when he called them and he was told not to take action, that's what he was supposed to do. Nowhere does it say they're required to carry a gun anywhere. So that there speaks for itself. Like, you killed someone because that's what you want to do after you were told not to. You went through this training and all that, but you're not using that training properly. I lost my spot. So back to the whole family thing. Say I've been living somewhere 10, 15 years. I know everybody and their mama. One of them kids do something. As a person who's known them all their life, I see them doing wrong. I'm going to go to them and tell them to stop. But what is that preventing? You telling them to stop, that's like giving them a tap on the hand. They're going to keep doing what they're doing because you're not calling the police. They see that as an open window. Oh, she told me to stop, but I'm going to keep going. So why not just erase the middleman? Why do you need a neighborhood watch? You have the police. We have a Chattanooga police within reach to all communities. So it's just like, what do you need the neighborhood watch for? You're supposed to call the police anyway. Why not just call the police straight up and just tell them what's going on rather than engage in the situation yourself? So that's why I feel that we need more police rather than the neighborhood watch to keep communities safer. Thank you.
Next, we'll have a speech by the Leader of Opposition not to exceed 2 minutes.
Okay. Hello again. My name is Montez Bell. Does the Neighborhood Watch program reduce crime? Background. Neighborhood Watch was not started by the Sheriff's Department. It was started by the Homeowners Association, or the real estate agent started a Homeowners Association, which started the Neighborhood Watch in 1976. I have the facts right here if you want to read them afterwards. Also, I would just like to point out my 3 facts earlier. I believe we have won this case simply based on the fact that we have stated facts and we have used personal experiences, as well as just several different numbers of things that we have said that have proven our case. We have said things that were statistical, factual evidence, cold hard evidence, and we did not contradict ourselves in any ways. Not saying that they did, but I'm saying that we did not. We were straight up and we said absolutely everything that was fact, and nothing false about it. I even showed you a map. It clearly says that a neighborhood watch doesn't necessarily help. The police is the only thing that can help. They're the ones who have the weapons. Neighborhood watch says you're not supposed to carry a gun or a weapon of any kind, because if you have it, you'll pull it. That's not what you're supposed to do. So why have that weapon? You have a permit, keep it in your house, use it to protect your home and not everybody else. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's why you call the police. Simple, point blank in the period. There's no reason why you should have, somebody trying to come at you with a gun. Because if you come at me with a gun, me knowing Taekwondo, I'm probably going to smack it out your hand and use it on you, if I were a criminal. Point blank in the period. More police, please. Thank you very much. I've made my case.
Now the speech by the Prime Minister, not to exceed 3 minutes.
As my colleague and I stated, that Neighborhood Watch prevents crimes. So far, we have proven our case by giving stats, experience, and facts. Thank you.